Hi, my name's Sarah Purdy, and I'm a Senior Technical Advisor on the Microsoft Dynamics GP team. I'm going to cover the new system-wide web client, workflow, and SmartList features for Microsoft Dynamics GP 2016. We'll start with HTML5 web client navigation. So the latest release of Microsoft Dynamics GP 2016 will include the new HTML5 web client. Previously, the Microsoft Dynamics GP web client experience was based in Microsoft Silverlight. With the HTML5 client, general navigation will be very similar to the previous experience in Silverlight. We'll cover the main points of navigational changes. The home page can be customized to the user's preference. The ellipsis next to the title of each area page allows content to be bigger or collapsed. The Change Company window can be opened by clicking on the company name. In the top right corner, you see the user who is currently logged in. To log out of GP, you can click on the username and then click on Exit GP. Clicking the question mark brings up a separate menu. Informational messages and error messages will appear here. So in order to facilitate a consistent, intuitive experience across both standard browsers and mobile browsers, windows and forms in the HTML5 web client are opened in a stack, with the top window or form in the stack requiring dismissal before being able to navigate back to the original window. In the event that a user needs to go directly to a window, whether it is a part of the current stack of windows or not, the search window will allow this window to be opened directly. Windows currently opened in the stack will appear in their own pane in the search window, and all other windows matching the search term will appear in another pane. The search window can be opened from the icon in this screenshot right here, and this is the window that then opens and allows you to type in your search criteria. Workflow condition management enhancements. With existing workflow functionality, the user has the option to set conditions under which action is required for a step in the workflow. Under current functionality, if the condition set for a step is not met, then the step is not run, and any sequential steps following the step are also not run. So if there are no parallel steps running, then the workflow ends where there is a step where the condition is not met, and the step status is set to no action needed. For this feature, 2 additional options have been added, allowing the user to select the action that occurs when the condition is not met. The first is to continue to the next step of the workflow. Rather than ending the workflow path if the condition is not met, the workflow step would not run, but would skip to the next step in the workflow path. This allows for workflow to be set up with steps that may or may not need to be completed based on defined conditions without ending the workflow completely. A drop-down list has been added to the workflow maintenance window under the conditions section of the workflow step properties section. Right here, if the condition is not met, in this scenario they have reject the workflow set. Condition functions. End the workflow path. When the instance of the step is reached in an instance of the workflow, the sequential steps following the step that do not also follow other parallel steps that do run are also not run. If there are no other parallel steps that do meet conditions for running, then the workflow is completed at that point. When the step is reached in an instance of the workflow, the step status for the instance of the step is set to no action needed, and a workflow history record is created for the step. Continue to the next step. When the step is reached in an instance of the workflow continues to any sequential steps following the step for which the condition was not met. The step status for the instance of the step is set to no action needed. Reject the workflow. When the step is reached in an instance of the workflow, the step status for the instance of the step is set to rejected. The The workflow status for the document is set to rejected, and all pending workflow user activity for all workflow steps, tasks, and approvals for the document are canceled. One thing to note, the continue to next step option may override default behavior for workflow assignment on a step where no action is needed. Previously, the workflow would be routed to the workflow manager for approval if they always require at least one approver box is checked. Under the new logic, the continue to next step option will route the workflow to continue on to the next step, even if no approval was required for the initial step. Workflow email notifications for alternate approvers. So in Microsoft Dynamics GP 2016, alternate final approvers are now able to receive email notifications. In prior versions, the primary approvers were notified, while the alternate final approvers were not. In this example, the purchase requisition approval workflow type is defined with a single step as where purchasing requisition line dot unit cost is greater than and includes $5,000. In addition, the workflow is set up to always require at least one approver, and you'll see that marked right here, and an alternate final approver is specified. The send message option must be marked within the workflow steps as well. This example shows a requisition with a unit cost of $4,999.99. This does not meet the $5,000 condition on the workflow step for this purchasing requisition approval workflow type. Thus, this requisition will not be assigned to the approver on this step, but instead to the alternate final approver. Note the assignment here in the window. The email that is sent to the alternate final approver will look something like this. The next feature, exporting and importing SmartList created in SmartList Designer. It's now possible to import and export SmartList Designer definitions for easy sharing and transport between Microsoft Dynamics GP implementations. The definition for a SmartList in the SmartList Designer in one environment can be exported or transported to a different machine and then imported into a different environment. The steps for accomplishing such a transfer from an environment that has a database named Dyn16 with a 216 company to an environment called Dynamics and company called 2 will be outlined. Here you'll see a screenshot of a newly created SmartList named Financial 2016. The definition for a SmartList in the SmartList Designer in one environment. Here you'll see the SmartList is visible to users under the Financial series, our Financial 2016 SmartList. Within the SmartList window in the ribbon, you can choose Actions, and you'll click the Export Import button right here and choose Export. The Export List window will open. You'll choose the desired SmartList. You'll click the Insert button, choose the path and file name for the XML file that will be created, and click the Export button. In Microsoft Dynamics GP in the destination environment, you can open the SmartList window. In the ribbon, again, under Actions, you'll choose Export Import, and then you'll click Import. The newly imported SmartList is now available in the SmartList window in the destination environment. Creating a new SmartList from a favorite with non-standard columns. It's now possible to create a new SmartList in SmartList Designer from an existing SmartList favorite which has been modified from the original favorite. So here's a screenshot of a SmartList favorite that was created in Microsoft Dynamics GP 2016. The standard SmartList, which is designated by an asterisk, was modified by adding the Adjust for Inflation column to the SmartList favorite GP 2016. When the new SmartList favorite is selected, you can click on New to open SmartList Designer. All of the columns from My SmartList favorite are there, including the Adjust for Inflation column. SmartLists created in SmartList Designer have default columns defined in the SmartList Options window. So default columns may be defined in the SmartList Options window for SmartLists that are now created. A newly created SmartList called Test will have all columns displayed in the SmartList Options window. The columns can be included or excluded from the default view. In addition, the columns can be reordered. Numeric fields in a SmartList are exported to Excel as numbers. So when the results of a SmartList are exported to Microsoft Excel, numeric columns will now be formatted as number instead of text. When a SmartList is exported to Excel, columns containing numbers here are automatically formatted as number. You'll see that here. The default number formatting in Excel includes 5 decimal digits and no currency symbols. If such formatting is desired, the column in Excel can subsequently be given a format of currency. Thank you for joining us here as we covered the new system-wide web client workflow and SmartList features for Microsoft Dynamics GP 2016. Have a good day.